Hello and welcome to This Week at Walt Disney World, live with Sam and Greg. It is Wednesday, May the 8th, 2024. There is a ton happening at Walt Disney World. Mother's Day, May the 4th. Greg, the blue-haired blogger from the Fantasyland News. What's happening, my friend?
Sam, today, ahoy hoy, my friend, halfway to Halloween, as you just said, boardwalk information, Smellephants are on parade, is actually open. Happy May the 4th. Darth Jar Jar is real and is canon. We tasted some blue milk at Star Wars Day. Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We'll talk about that more at the end of this episode. And then Disneyland Forward has been approved out there in California. What's that mean for the future? We'll find out.
It's going to be awesome. Stick around for that and so much more tonight on This Week at Walt Disney World Live. Thank you all for joining us. We absolutely appreciate that. We're live on 2 different YouTube channels and Facebook Live at Sam's Disney Diary and the Fantasyland News blog, which is awesome. Greg, we're wearing our Halloween gear, and it's May the 8th, 2024.
Not only that, I need to stop putting candy in my mouth, especially sweet tarts when we start, because just weird things happen, man. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Halloween. It is Halloween time. Tickets officially went on sale today for annual pass holders, and we'll go through
Oh, it was for APs? I thought that it was only today. We'll get to this in a minute.
I'm sorry, not APs.
For reservation holders, right?
What am I talking? It's like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know what I'm talking about. I just spoke too fast. Good evening.
No, I get it, because I was going to say, wait a minute, I come by it today. We come by him on the 15th, but we'll get there in a minute with halfway.
But hey, let's boo this.
Let's boo this. I see what you did there.
Thank you.
I see what you did there. Let's start with some of your travels.
And you. Happy Halloween.
Before we get there, you made some discoveries in the parks this week, and that's what this is all about this week at Walt Disney World. So you were over at the boardwalk. You noticed some construction happening over there at the boardwalk, and it had nothing to do with the hot dog place that you've been waiting for. The
Blue ribbon corn dogs. Come on, Sam. Let's get it right.
Not open yet. Well, it's not. It is blue ribbon corn dogs.
Yes.
And it's not open yet.
Corn dog. No.
It's not open yet, but you did notice some construction. Tell me what's happening. Is that the
so
Big
Boardwalk
River Barbecue building or no?
Actually, it's just before Big River Barbecue. What they're doing is they're redoing
Big River Barbecue.
Yeah, so Big River is actually just another section down, and what they're doing is redoing the facade of the boardwalk.
Clean it up. I guess I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, we also know renovations are going to happen over at Bay Lake Tower next year, and that's going to last a whole year. So every year they pick 2 or 3 resorts that they're doing. It just happens to be time for the boardwalk. They redid the interior. Now they're working on the exterior a little bit.
And that's the DVC wing, if I remember
That
correctly.
is
In fact, the
absolutely
very bottom
correct.
of that is the preview center.
Yes.
That thing right there. And that's just
Yeah.
down from Big City Barbecue. So correct me if I'm wrong, that what we're looking at, the red building with the white canopy used to be the Big River
Yes.
Barbecue.
Correct.
And it is not any longer. We know that
It's
that
not.
closed. We're not sure what it's going to become, but yeah,
So,
something's going to
speaking
come there.
of the preview center that used to be there, by the
Yes.
way, now just so people are aware, I love to give this weird bits of information. Tours now, if you go on a tour with 2 people for the DVC tour and check out the preview center, $200 gift card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they
Wow. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
I remember doing it for fast passes myself. That's how far back it goes. That was right before I purchased my way into the Disney Vacation Club.
Yeah, you can only do it once every 180 days, though. Don't ask
All
me
right,
how I
let's
know.
move
I
on.
haven't done it yet, but I'm going.
Let's
to.
head into Epcot, because in Epcot last week, when I lost my audio in my ear and couldn't hear what you were talking about,
Smell-o-fin. No,
not the
AP.
Smell-o-fin yet, the AP Lounge, which is back in the location of Restaurant Marrakesh, but this is now the annual pass. It's part of the, what are they calling it?
VI pass holder days.
That's it. Thank you very much. And this
Yes.
is the DVC Lounge that's back there.
They have charging ports for you. They have free water. They have Chex Mix. They have M&Ms. And Genie from Aladdin comes out and does meet and greet, which is great because it is right across the roadway from Meeting Jasmine. So you can get 2 of the 3 main characters from Disney's Aladdin right there in that one little spot.
That is really cool. And if you had the breakfast over at the Grand Floridian, you can find Prince Ali.
Yeah,
That
fabulous
was a whole nother
he.
thing. We talked about that a few weeks ago. That is over at the Grand Floridian in the just reopened dining experience that is 1900 Park Fair. See, I was blanking on it until you said 19, and I got it. All right. It's also
I am here for you, my friend.
Always. It's also May, which means it's another Heritage Month, and you were able to try some treats. I don't want to call them treats, but what was happening at
the ramen noodle bowl over at in Japan, and it is for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is celebrated all the month of May down here at Walt Disney World. And so if you go to different Asian or Japanese or different cultures of the Pacific Islands, they will have different foods. So in China Pavilion, they have something. In Japan, they have different things. You can find at different restaurants, like over in the Polynesian, you can get loco mocos. And so it's
that sounds good. I don't know what that is.
Is a cold noodle with chicken, and it has this really nice hot sauce kind of liquid to it that you can drink at the end. I'm telling you, it was one of the most refreshing $6 snacks that you can get at during what is it? Flower and Garden is still going on. So
it is Flower and Garden. So that's what I was going to ask you. Is this at the Flower and Garden kiosk, or is this at the quick service?
Yes, it's at Hanami, which is the Japanese Flower and Garden booth.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was there, if it was up on the top of the hill there, which, by the way, I think is one of the best quick service spots in Epcot when it comes to
one of the greatest
out of the way. Without a doubt, it is great.
And you get to sit in the Japanese gardens and see the bamboo gardens and the bonsai trees up there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Cheyenne,
it's one of my favorite spots to kind of chill out. I was actually chilling out there, waiting to get into the annual Pass Holder Lounge, because the Pass Holder Lounge is only open between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m.
So it doesn't open till noon.
Does not open till noon.
So is there a line of people at noon waiting to get in this place?
Yes. And then what's crazy is the first, I think, 100 people can get in, no problem. But once the line gets past that, they take your phone number. You get in line to give them your phone number. They call you back when you're basically like a reservation, when your time is up.
So they're going to text you. They're going to drop you a text kind of thing and say, we're ready for you. And that's the same thing they do at the DVC Lounge over at the Imagination Pavilion.
It's the exact same thing. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. So you were waiting to get into the lounge, but then you heard from a little birdie that told you that they could smell something over at the Magic Kingdom.
It was a little mouse, man.
It was a
A little
mouse
mouse. It was a little mouse. I'm
that
trying to
said,
find. I actually have the map in front of me. There it is.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see it if you got it.
He actually said, and I will tell you what he said. He said, "Boy, oh boy, thanks for taking the gig. If there's anybody who can help Dumbo with his Smellifant new act, it's you. I just know it. But first, we got to train up that stupendous sniffer of yours. So I've set up 8 Smellifant statues around Storybook Circus. Can you find them all? Here's a map and some stickers to mark where they're at. Thanks again. I'll bet you'll do swell. After all, I know a star when I see him. Your pal, Timothy Q. Mouse."
Timothy Q. Mouse. So, of course,
Yeah.
everybody thought you were talking about Mickey, but you were indeed talking about Timothy Mouse. So, all right, you show up at
We
Storybook
take our
Circus.
from mice around here. It doesn't matter if
Absolutely,
it's
clearly.
Bernard, Timothy, Mickey, Minnie. We follow the mice.
Mortimer doesn't matter.
Mortimer, like they
So,
give us rules.
So, where did you get this map?
Okay, there is Big Top Souvenirs. No, that's
Yes.
definitely noodles. You don't get them at the noodle place.
No. That's I went the wrong direction. So, okay, you get to Storybook Circus. Where are you going for this map? And then we're
you're
open
going
it up
straight to your left-hand side at Storybook Circus. After you walk under, you will see a brand new ticket booth in front of Big Top Souvenirs. There's 3 or 4 cast members handing out maps and a sticker for if you have completed the whole thing. You literally
a sticker when you complete it. It's not a so I misunderstood what you said. I thought you meant stickers like a scavenger hunt that you put on the map. Like
that's
we did
also
at
what
Disney.
happens. Correct.
Okay. All right. So did you
So-
have those? I didn't see any of those.
So there's
All right,
the empty
so
stickers.
There's the empty
There's the
stickers
empty.
that Greg
And then
has.
hold
All
on,
right,
I will show you the map.
because we have a map with the stickers on it. Okay. Wonderful. So in this particular case, it is exactly like we sort of anticipated. Are you smelling the stickers or are you
Yeah,
smelling the
'cause
map?
they're supposed to smell, but they don't. Speaking of Smellifants, let's go through this because I actually do want to explain how it works because it's quite interesting. We had talked originally that it was kind of going to be a scratch and sniff type game. I picked up the book, but when I picked up the book, there was this overwhelming caramel apple fragrance that hit me, and I went, "I'm in the right place."
Okay.
It was good, and I was
Was
happy.
it the map that you were smelling? Is that what it was?
No, it was
Oh,
not.
okay.
It was the statues.
Okay. Which in looking
Inside.
at this map, now we understand why they're spread out a little bit. They're not next to each other because that could
Correct.
be
You have to go through all of Storybook Circus. And what's great is you don't just have the Smellifants that are out. Okay. There
Okay.
is little things that they've added to the land. So in front of the railroad, there's new railroad baggage that from this the Smellifants trunks from taking the train over there. Like there's cool little things around the
I
land.
get it.
Thank
I get
you.
it. So
I was so-
clearly the elephants came in on the circus train. And
Yes.
yes, I get it.
It's brilliantly themed. It seems like
Always.
it's a silly thing, and it is, but I tell you what, I was so happy that Magic Kingdom updated something like this and put this in Fantasyland in Storybook Circus. I thought this adds color and vibrancy, and I'm telling you, how these scents work is every minute or so, you'll hear a mechanical and next thing you know,
Yep.
you smell it. The
Yep.
2 issues, there's 1 issue and then 1 positive. If you're downwind of it, it hits you in the face and it smells exactly like it should. So that one smells like bubble gum. If you're
Okay.
upwind, unfortunately, it just blows past you and you don't get the smell very well. So it was a windy day out. You had to be on the opposite side of the statues to really get that smell. You'll see
Just
down
because it was a little windy. Okay.
yeah, that's it. And that's the only thing I have wrong with it because everything else, I thought this was brilliant. I had such a great time doing it. And
That
was the 8th one that we were wondering what they were going to do. It is
the
bubble
last
gum.
one. Got
Yeah.
it. And that's the one that's holding the drum with the Smellifants on parade.
There's
next to
there's
it.
2 or 3 that are holding the drums.
Okay, so here's my
Yeah.
question for you then. Clearly, you were enjoying it and checking it out
did.
and taking pictures and documenting what you saw.
Yeah.
How did the rest of the crowd seem to be? Were there other people participating? Did you see little kids doing this? What was going
You
on?
want to know who I saw participating in this? truthfully, it wasn't families. It was cast members and Imagineers who took their lunch break, came over to Magic Kingdom, ran into the back to do this, and loved it.
That is great. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something for families to do once the word gets out that this is out there. I do believe, because it is sponsored by Sensi, I do
Yes.
believe that they finally put a press release out. This day was considered a soft opening for it. And then I thought it was really fun to kind of see, and really fun to just hang out and do. Families will get it. Families are going to pick it up. Families are going to go,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, let's spend half an hour doing this.
Look, this is a free activity. You're not paying anything for this. You're getting a sticker. You're getting a book and a memory and probably a photo in front of each of the elephants. I think this is a great addition. It's just like the Christmas tree hunt that was down at Springs, and it's a free activity to keep you engaged and keep you busy.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't mind it at all. And your sticker, when you were finished, you became a what? An official whiff assistant. What does this say? Top nose whiff assistant.
Top nose whiff assistant.
Whiff assistant. It's a whiff assistant.
Yes.
Not an assistant, but a whiff.
No, whiff assistant. Yes.
And it's a cool. That's a sticker with Timothy Q. Mouse. I'd love to see a button, but I get it. It's a sticker.
You know how many people collect paper stuff?
A lot of people collect those stickers. It's amazing, dude. How many people go out of their way to get different stickers at Walt Disney World? Would you just be the Mickey sticker to keep the kids happy? That's what happened when my kids were younger, right?
There's one for everything. The Skyliner people have one. The boats have one. Like you really can find a lot of different stickers around each year.
Sure can.
And now
holidays. Yep.
You can be a top nose whiff assistant.
Yeah. That is good. All right, let's move on from there.
Dumbo, man, it's awesome.
I do love it. Let's move on to May the 4th. I think we ended last episode with May the 4th be with you. And I don't know if we talked about it, but Disney Plus dropped a whole bunch of cool things on May the 4th. One of them being Star Wars Tales of the Empire, which is we'll call it a sequel to Tales of the Jedi. But basically, these are short animated features that sort of fill in the blanks or fill in some backstory on characters. And Tales of the Jedi gave us some details on Ahsoka Tano. And this Tales of the Empire followed 2 characters, Greg, and I loved both of these storylines.
I am a huge fan of the Night Sisters from Dathomir when it comes to Star Wars lore. I have always been a huge fan of that. So when I saw during Ahsoka that it really goes back to Ventress because she came from there. So during the whole Clone Wars and then during Ahsoka and then the storyline of the Night Sisters, and then it was just brilliant to me. So to get a backstory of Morgan Elsbeth and what was the other character? Tales of the Empire. Barriss. I loved it. So to me, this was a prologue to Ahsoka, kind of.
You had 2 different characters that came from 2 different places, right? Morgan Elsbeth, the first time we met her was in The Mandalorian. Right. They showed up at the village and she was defending the place and ended up battling Ahsoka in the same location that shows up in this short. So it's 3 episodes that cover her background, her falling into the dark side, why she became part of the dark side, and how she ends up, meeting Grand Admiral Thrawn at the time, which ends up being a big piece of this in Ahsoka as you go through the whole thing, right? So it tied some of that together.
Tales of the Jedi, I thought was brilliant. It's nice to have Star Wars short stories, especially animated short stories. They're 10 minutes long, 9 minutes long. So to have something like this for the Sith version or the dark side, I loved it. Tales of the Empire I like having both the dichotomy of both of these characters and stuff.
Well, and these 2 characters in Tales of the Empire, Greg, I love that it shows Morgan go into the dark side and really be consumed by it. And it shows Barriss sort of getting into the dark side because she was a fallen Jedi. There's a whole backstory from the Clone Wars on her, and this ties together what happened to her. And she went to the dark side, but then started to question the dark side and was like, no, this isn't for me, and redeemed herself in it. I thought it was a great storyline. It was awesome.
I loved it. So yeah, Tales of the Empire. It's it's on now on Disney Plus. It was again dropped on May the 4th, and I came home after being at Hollywood Studios, ran home to watch this, and man, I was happy. I was a happy boy.
The Night, you just love the Night Sisters were there.
Yep.
The Night Sisters are great. We'll talk about that later. Let's move on because we also learned that there is a new Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy animated special that is coming in September exclusively on Disney Plus. But this is sort of like the what if, I don't know, maybe sort of kind of the what if that's Marvel, but this is rebuilding the galaxy and things that didn't happen but maybe could have happened, like the TIE Fighter X-Wing cross combination. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, imagine seeing an AT-AT Walker all of a sudden get destroyed and then rebuilt as a rebel version of an AT-AT Walker. Okay,
it was pretty cool.
I'm going to tell a quick story. The moment this dropped, for some odd reason, I just happened to be online. If anybody knows me, knows that I could be one of the biggest Star Wars fans of all time. Jar Jar Binks specifically is probably one of my favorite characters.
Which is that it's a very telling. Night Sisters and Jar Jar Binks. Again.
Yeah. So when Jar Jar comes out and he is just like, he all of a sudden he comes out as Darth Jar Jar. After all the fan theories about him, after the hatred he got during Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, they're not showing up really in Revenge of the Sith. Like, it was just so nice to see Jar Jar get his moment in the sun, be it on Lego or not. This blew my mind, and I stopped everything. I was like, oh, and I had to run to go show Holly. I don't think she cared. I think she was just like, good for you, Greg. Just good for you. I'm so happy for you.
Like that.
She's a supportive wife. She loves me. She's happy I was happy. Could care less about it. She's just like, good for you.
That is funny. Now, you mentioned earlier Darth Jar Jar is canon. So I love it there. You have yourself a Jar Jar. Where'd you get that?
This is actually from Batu. This is they sell these at I forget what that store is, but
the attic, the toy, the attic or something like that. It's called.
But there's a plethora. I used to own a full-size, life-size Jar Jar mask that I used to wear.
I can only imagine.
I had one that
the
danced.
accent too, which I don't want to hear right now. Good
No, I can't do the accent. I won't do that because it just doesn't sound right. So Ahmad Best, by the way, Ahmad Best is coming back as the voice of Jar Jar Binks after many, many years of being away. We saw him last time I do believe he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi. He showed up as a Jedi. Not Jar Jar Binks Jedi, but Ahmad Best, the voice.
Yes,
so,
that's true.
Yeah, he is back.
Now look,
voice of Jar Jar.
The thing that Lego does and Lucas, and they know about continuity and they know about canon and things like that. So think back to the Lego Star Wars, the Christmas special, where they had all these things happen and they were crazy and they were all over the map, and then they do something at the end that wipes it out, like it's a dream or something like that. It was a little bit out there for sure. But speaking of Star Wars and Lego, I know we had talked earlier because, my birthday was recently, and it's awesome having one right after May the 4th because you can go and snag the latest.
Oh, you can. Look at you. By the way, if everybody will join me in wishing Sam a wonderful happy birthday. Yesterday was Sam's birthday. He got the Interceptor for his birthday.
I got the Interceptor.
That's awesome. That's a good gift. Did your wife give it to you, or did she go, Sam, go buy yourself something?
She kind of knows that whatever the special is at lego.com for May the 4th is what I want for my birthday. So in getting that, what else was cool, Greg, was this was a freebie that was thrown in, which is kind of cool.
You got the battle droids in there.
You got the battle droids in there. You also got
Roger
for the
that's the Nabooian ship. You got the
Yes, it is.
Nabooian set.
I did, and there was also sort of I'm not sure exactly what this was, but I thought it was cool because it's you kind of go back and forth and fly through. I don't know.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool, man.
Hey, it was all part of it. So yeah, I love that. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So in addition to Lego, we also got from Disney Plus. It helps if I share the screen here, doesn't it? We also got a trailer for Acolyte, which will be interesting. Now, this is set 1,000 years before Phantom Menace. This is a complete different galaxy. This
is the High Republic.
I don't remember. It's the High Republic. I don't remember how far.
I don't either.
But it's much further than I thought.
Yeah. I mean, it's well before the timeline that we know of. No, this is great. Like you could kind of see the background of them building the Jedi Temple.
I have to show you my card first. Is that the coolest birthday card or what?
That's awesome, man.
Just saying.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. So Sam, we have the most supportive wives. I'm so happy
we do.
That we have
so that when that comes with the Star Wars Legos, you know, it's like, oh yeah, this is the best. The Acolyte, when this was originally announced, when Lucasfilm did in 2020, they had the Investor Day and they talked about the Acolyte, and I did a little homework on it. And I really thought that this was going to be the downfall of Count Dooku before the events of the Phantom Menace. Like he was the Jedi that became the Acolyte, that became a Sith Lord in the process. But clearly I was way off because this is set way before that. Love some of the imagery, and I have no idea.
Yoda is 1,000 years old, or 900, when 900 some odd years old you become. So
yes, I can't wait to see this. I mean, this is live action. This puts a different spin on Star Wars. These are going to be characters that we haven't seen before, but they're familiar to us. And you're going to know what a red lightsaber means. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I love getting out of the timeline we've been in for 40, 50 years.
The Skywalker
timeline. Thing. Yeah. It's the Skywalker. Ahsoka going to, and I'm not going to spoil it, but where she goes to in the ending of the show. And then
which, by the way, we're still waiting for another season. That's not over yet. There's another season coming.
So I didn't want to spoil it.
Right.
But yes, getting more stories, getting more backstories. George Lucas is the modern day Tolkien.
Yeah.
Like he's the modern, like he set up worlds that you can now expand on, and you can make billions of different stories off of that world. So yeah, I love it. And they're not killing us with too much.
This is June the 4th. The Lego stuff's in September. Let's be clear, the Lego stuff is for kids. That's what they've done in the past. It's like
whoa.
It's look, George Lucas will tell you Star Wars was for kids, and that's why you and I like it so much, because that's the wavelength. It's all good.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about merchandise, because you were in the parks on May the 4th. You not only were in the parks, you were at studios on May the 4th. That had to be a zoo. I love the Starbucks tumblers. The new.
Yeah, I got there at 9 a.m. thinking the gates would open at 9 a.m. No, they opened at 8:30. It was early for everybody that day. So I walked in and there was no line, and I was like, this is great, man. Nobody's here. Boy, was I wrong. Because they were all there. They were just doing something else. Yeah, the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace had hit theaters the day before.
Yes.
The marathon of all 9 movies was in theaters that day. So, of course, there's the 25th anniversary of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. A lot of Darth Maul stuff. Looks brilliant. They had backpacks, ears.
Which, by the way, Maul was our first hint of the Night Sisters, and we had no idea 25 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
The son of Dathomir.
What was great about this is the ears. They had the Queen Amidala ears.
Oh, yes.
Just everything looked really good. That Starbucks set, nobody kind of knew about. So when I walked in there, it's the part of the Discovery series, there was a tumbler, there was the mug, there was a stainless steel tumbler.
Yep.
I was like, man, these things are great.
Yeah, all hot. which is interesting. It's Hoth because Hoth hadn't been out in the set yet. You would have thought it would have tied to episode 1 somehow, but it's fine. Whatever.
They don't
Right?
talk to each other.
Clearly they don't. Starbucks does what they want. Now, you also saw some lines while you were there. So what was everybody running for?
Merchandise and popcorn buckets, my friend. Merchandise and popcorn buckets.
So I see the line in Galaxy's Edge, and I kind of expected that. That looks like it's going back into the popcorn stand in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
But then you also see the same line at the stand where traditionally I would go to first for the BB-8 bucket and the Darth Vader bucket and the Chewbacca bucket and all those that I got right in front of Hollywood Brown Derby. And there it is. That's the scavenger mug, right?
There's
the
two
bucket.
popcorn stands over there. One is right on Hollywood, and then the other one is over by the Hollywood studio sign or entry, the old archway.
Right when you walk in. Yes.
The line went both ways there. So one line was going towards one stand, one line was going towards the other. It was a madhouse, man. And it was a little disheartening as a Star Wars fan to see everybody was just there for merch because they were buying 20 of them and walking out.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Now, this is the bucket that we're looking at an image of it where it's right side up, but this is the upside down scavenged bucket, right? When you wear this around your neck, it's upside down and it's
really cool.
It looks cool. I will give it.
It looks cool. It's another Star Wars popcorn bucket. If you have the collection, I think I have the mouse droid and something the Millennium Falcon.
I have the mouse droid, the Millennium Falcon, Darth Vader, R2D2. I could keep going down the list, but I'm not going to.
What I wanted, though, was over at AMC for the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, they had R2D2. I was like, oh,
an R2D2 popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I might have one in my R2D2 right back here. Maybe I'll pull that around in a second.
Right. You have an old Pepsi thing of R2D2.
I got. Whoa.
Sam's going to kill himself trying to get to R2D2. But this R2D2 is massive. Like, it's the old Phantom Menace. Look at him. He can drive it.
Now,
there's R2.
There is my Darth Vader bucket.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
That is. Let's go to this view here for a second. This is the Vader, right? Popcorn bucket. Here is the R2.
Love the R2. That actually looks really cool.
That's the R2.
We're grown men, people. We are grown men. That's right. I like that. That's the coffee or the mug or whatever. Yeah.
The mug, yes.
The sipper, whatever they want to call it.
Here. There's another one of those.
Yeah.
There's Chewie. There's Chewbacca.
Oh, I like that Chewie.
Now, somewhere in here, I thought, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. He's going through a life-sized R2D2 looking for popcorn buckets.
There's the Dio.
Dio.
You got that right. I thought, dude.
Who's the sipper?
I was wrong. It's way down at the bottom in here. I thought there was a Han Solo in carbon. I'm not finding it.
Sam's going to go diving in there, and you're just going to see his two legs sticking out of it. R2's going to swallow him up whole. Dude, that's
a thermal detonator. There's a thermal detonator.
Yeah, you got to have the detonator. And then, of course, we all have the Rancor teeth. We all have the other Star Wars stuff. There's so much. Like, I've actually settled down on, like, I don't collect too much because it has to be special now for me to get.
All right, so let's talk about that because there's another image that you shared, which is not from the parks. This looks like it's back at your house. I'm not.
This is my house.
This is.
Don't ask me why I have porgs and glasses of Star Wars. I'm a grown man.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Do what I want.
The blue milk is from Target, right?
Yeah. Yes. True blue milk.
Yes. How was it?
It was not as gritty as the real blue milk sold at Galaxy's Edge. It had it was almost like cereal milk.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe
I'm reading it. It says blue-colored vanilla low-fat milk with other natural flavors.
And there is a distinct vanilla flavor, but it's like cereal vanilla. Like you had vanilla Cheerios.
Got it.
And
so Holly is commenting that this was from Publix. Was it Publix?
No, it was from Target.
Okay, because I know that it's here in Western PA, and we don't have Publix. It was at Target here. I thought maybe
Yeah.
it was different. Okay.
Who knows where else it's sold? Because I think True Moo is sold at like dollar stores and stuff like that, or
Got
Dollar
it.
General, one of those two. Yeah.
Now, here's the real question I have in this picture, other than Admiral Akbar and whether or not that was a popcorn bucket or if that's a mug.
That is a mug that sits
Okay.
right here. Hold on. I'm literally pulling them out.
Got it. Very cool. And the porg is still in there. Love it. Very cool.
Yeah, the porg lives in there. I don't like Akbar needs a head. Which, by the way, my wife's most hated character of all time is Admiral Akbar.
It's a trap.
Yeah, she hates him.
Okay.
Used to get tortured by her older brother.
You about, because what the first thing that I notice in this image is not the milk or the Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
It's the Burger King collectible glasses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Give me the story of the Empire Strikes Back and the Star Wars Burger King glasses.
So I've had these when I was a kid, and I'm lucky again that I have a wife who loves me and will feed into my weird obsessions in life. So we used to go to different shops, like collectible shops, and they would sell them for like at the time like $4 a glass or $5 a glass, or you get the whole set for $20. And so I have those. I have holiday versions. We have like droopy dog versions. Like I have versions from the 80s. These things have probably destroyed my brain with all the lead that's in them, more than anything else.
Now, this was a set that included all three of the original trilogy, if I remember.
Yes, I do have Return of the Jedi. I have all of them.
Got it. So this
I
was
actually
like
have two of these. I have in double.
So now, I have some from Burger King in 1984. But
so I have doubles of some of these, and that's why I can use some of them. Because
you're not going to use the first one. I understand.
These are my doubles that I can use and throw and wash and stuff like that, and I don't worry.
Burger King collectible glasses from the 1980s. That's beautiful. All right. Okay, dude, we're halfway through. We got to move on because guess what? The reason why you have your Halloween ears on and I have my Halloween shirt, it, my friend, is halfway to Halloween. It's the thing that you expect, right? What do you get in the springtime from Walt Disney World? You get the Flower and Garden Festival, you get Star Wars Day, May the 4th, and you get halfway to Halloween when all the announcements come out on what's new for the Halloween season, not only at Walt Disney World, but Disney Cruise Lines, Disneyland, Oogie Boogie Bash. Oh my gosh, I would love to get to that. International parks. There's so much that goes into Halloween. It's crazy.
There used to be so much that went into halfway to Halloween also, but this year there's so much going on at the parks that they, instead of making it a week-long celebration, because you had so much else going on, they just dropped it all in one day this time. So
they did. They used to drag it out. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So we now know the dates. We now know the party. We now know the new costumes. We know.
So
Disney
let's talk
Cruise
about
Line.
Not So Scary for a second. We know we got new costumes for Mickey and Minnie. This seems to be a natural because it means they can sell new plush and they can do.
Which, by the way, I love the new colors of the costume, and I can't wait to get a picture with them.
I'm fine with it.
He almost looks like Phantom Manor Mickey from Paris.
A little bit, yeah. The green spider webbish and purple. I don't have a problem. It looks like a Dr. Facilier hat, if you ask me.
A little bit, cool. Yeah. I like it.
I like it. More villain meet and greets. I figured you would be all over this, my friend.
Not only all over this, but what tipped me off was the day before they announced that they were going to announce this stuff. It's Disney. They showed some villains.
The day before they announced that they were going to announce stuff.
They showed the normal villains, but then out of nowhere, they're like, there was Scar. They don't use Scar for anything to announce villain stuff. So it was really nice that it was like, oh, we're now going to get more characters. We don't know who or what, but we're getting more villain characters. One of the problems, though, is the next line happened to be about Encanto and meeting Bruno, which we're going to bring up here in a second.
We will get in a second. Yep.
They were not calling, and I want people to understand, they weren't calling Bruno a villain. They were saying that he's also going to be meeting there with new
It's the
villains are
first
going to
time
be
he's
there.
meeting in Disney World.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes. So he'll be in
So
the Casita over by Fantasyland, right next to Alice, across from Star Trader, not Star Traders, Cosmic Rays.
okay, and I was going to ask you where that was because I did read that in the press release. Bruno's going to be there with Maribel in Fantasy Land, or Fantasy something, and I'm like, what is that?
That's
Then
the
I realized,
Casita. That's where Brave Maribel used
that's
to
where
meet.
Maribel is with the
Yeah.
that's the meet and greet area. So that's nothing. I thought it was something new, but
No.
I want to rewind a second.
Yeah.
Before COVID, and it may be quite a bit before that, they used to have an event before they had the Hocus Pocus Spectacular that was called Villains Mix and Mingle. I don't know if you remember this or not.
Do you remember Villains Night?
Villains Night was different. This was Villains Mix and Mingle, which happened multiple times on the stage during the Not So Scary Halloween party. And after Mix and Mingle, all of the villains would come down off stage and there would be meet and greets right in front of the castle with all of them. And that's like Queen of Hearts was there and Scar was there. That's I have a video of it somewhere, but it was called Villains Mix and Mingle. And it was a stage show before the Hocus Pocus stage show. And that's why I wasn't sure if you had seen that or not. And I wonder if it's those villains coming back, because Scar was one of them. And the Queen of Hearts was one of them, and Cruella, and you go down the list. It was
Dr. Facilier, Hades. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. No, I did not know about that.
But they're bringing back more villains. That's great.
But I can go to Sam's Disney Diary on YouTube and watch that, right?
Yes, you can see the Villains Mix and Mingle. And I want to say it's probably over 10 years ago. It's probably 2012, 2013-ish. That's just guessing. All right. We also have a new dance party. This is over in Tomorrowland. This is the Send Dance Party.
Yeah, the new movie
nicely in
this summer. So of course they're going to bring the Descend Dance Party. This isn't replacing anything.
Well, I think is it replacing the stage show that they had over there? Didn't they have like something was happening on the Tomorrowland stage?
Oh, is this on Tomorrowland stage?
I saw that. That's what I had read. This is over at the Tomorrowland stage.
Then they are replacing the performance they used to have over there,
or they're going back and forth with, because for Christmas time they go back and forth.
Yeah,
between the Buzz Lightyear Stitch thing and an a cappella band. They went back.
I don't remember anything there last year because we were so busy. But the year before that, we got to meet like George Sanderson from Monsters Inc. Chip and Dale were out there in their costume. So it was like a character dance party.
Yeah, which is fine. And that's the Send Dance Party. So Disneyland has had this for some time. And I think there was a version of this at Springs last year or the year before for one of their new movies.
Yeah, this one's The Rise of Red, I believe is what it is.
The Rise of Red is the new movie. That is the Queen of Hearts' daughter, if I remember right. That is who Red is.
Yeah. I have not seen a Descendants movie, so it's that's on me.
I watched them early on when my daughter was younger.
Of course.
All right. Then the next thing was Bruno. We talked about Bruno.
We don't talk about him.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Actually, apparently, according to the screenwriter, we are allowed to talk about him now because he rejoined the family by the end of the movie. But spoiler alert,
it was just the beginning of the movie. Spoiler alert. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah. So now that you can talk about him now.
We can talk about him. All right. Tickets are on sale. I want to talk about the dates here. Tickets are on sale now for resort reservations. If you have a resort reservation for any of these days, you can buy tickets. They go on sale May the 15th, which is Wednesday next week. Our next live show, they'll be on sale. So you may already have yours.
Yeah, first you may have yours.
But it's possible. First party is August the 9th. This is the earliest that they've ever had one.
They've had. So August 9th, 13th.
Now, I know that because my daughter's birthday is August 12th, and there's never been one before her birthday. So I know for certain.
Last year was the 12th.
Yep.
So this is the earliest they've ever done it. And it doesn't look like they've added more dates.
There's not a lot of days in August. It's only twice a week.
Yeah.
So there's only 7 in August.
Right.
And yes, Holly is right. That is the same weekend as the Ultimate Fan
Wow.
event in Disneyland.
Wow.
So if you're going to the Ultimate Fan event, you're not going to the first Not So Scary
We will
Halloween.
not be at the first one.
Right. And
But
that's fine. That is what it
wow.
is.
All of a sudden, I'm
But look,
conflicted.
I wanted to talk about that because every year the first one sells out
Yep.
and Halloween night sells out, the 31st.
Yes.
They sell
And
out
ticket
immediately right away.
prices range from $119 to $199. The top ticket
199
price
for the top dates. Yeah. Wow.
did not change price. It is still $199. The
Okay.
low price, though, went up by $10.
Okay.
But if you're an annual pass holder, you can save $10 on August and September parties.
On August and September, so not in October.
Yep.
Are all of October's the 199, or is that just the
No.
ones closest
It's
to Halloween?
normally it'll start
It's
around
usually your
139.
Saturday and your
Yeah. It'll be 139, and then around the 20th, it'll split to 189.
This is a lot of days. It's a lot of party.
A lot
I
of
know
party.
that, we had a comment earlier that, wow, they're starting this earlier and earlier. When does this, when's it too early?
Yeah.
I think, Greg, that we may be on the way to, when do we have a Halloween party in July? That's my question.
I
Do you
don't
think it will ever get to that.
I think August is it. Yeah,
And
look,
this could just be
I go
because
by
of the
Disney
calendar.
time. Like, we go by Disney time down here. So
Right.
like by this point, we don't have a festival going on all summer. It's been the
Right.
summertime heat and stuff like that. You've dealt with the summer crowds. So by August, the crowds are starting to thin out a little bit.
Well,
And
not
this is
early August. I mean, I remember the complaints last year. Those early August, the first half of August, and even into it, it's still hot and busy. Your candy is melting.
It's 90 to 100 degrees. It was 100 degrees today here, Sam.
So your candy is you're trick or treating on August the 9th or 13th or 20th.
And not only that, but you're in the middle. You're in
Oh.
tsunami season. Like at 4 o'clock every day, 4 to 6, it absolutely gives giant thunderstorms that blow through, and then they're gone, and it cools off, and it dries out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm all for, man. Give me August. I'll take August 1st.
And the comment that we had, someone asked, when's Christmas going to start? Look, Christmas is not going to start before November the 1st. And
No.
usually there's a 5 to 7 day window between Halloween night, October 31st, and the first Christmas party, which is usually the next weekend. Now, I've seen the last Halloween party be November the 1st before because of the way the weekend fell.
Last year.
Was it last year that way too?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it's last year or not, but I've seen that happen in the past where October or November the 1st was a Halloween party, and then November 6th is the first Christmas party.
Yeah.
That's how quick they do it. And then it's Christmas, and it's Christmas until Christmas week, because remember, there are no Christmas parties the week of Christmas.
Right. So, I mean,
and that's because they don't want to close the Magic Kingdom.
At the end of the day, look what happened last year. Every date sold out. So
every date ended up selling out. Yes.
Yeah. So good for Disney. Like, if you're going to sell out every date, then you're meeting the demands.
Yes, I am looking at a few of those dates in August. Because kids aren't back to school yet.
Right.
So you could do something the 16th or 20th or 23rd after D23 and before. It's possible. It's possible.
Come on down.
What else has changed? They one other change I did want to mention.
Yeah.
They've changed the start time of the first parade to be earlier.
Yeah.
Which to me, that's a great move, because it had been, and it probably still be, for any of these parties, whether it's the Halloween party or the Christmas party, you have to pick what it is that you want to do. And that's the advice that I give people. Do you want to ride the attractions with low lines? Go for it. Do you want to trick or treat and meet the characters? If you want to do that, or do you want to partake in the entertainment, which means stand in front of the castle stage, watch the parade, then watch Hocus Pocus on stage, then watch the fireworks that go boom, boom, boom.
Yes, and if they keep those times like that, it makes sense. I think Michelle Atwood from the Main Street Mouse kind of brought that up yesterday, was if they keep the times how they are, then you have a little bit of too much of a gap where you're going to, oh, I can go run and do something. But if you want to run and do something, you lose your spot of parade, show, fireworks, parade. And then are you able to go get the Cadaver Dance or see the pirate band play or go to the Tomorrowland? Do you want to meet a character? If you want to get to the Seven Dwarves, like, you got to get there early and be ready for it. Do you want to meet Jack and Sally? Those two things alone can take an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's right.
So, I don't know. Is it going to? So here's the theory, and this is what I think Disney's trying to do. A lot of families come in and they have very little kids, and they are paying a good price for these little kids to go, and they want to get the kids to see a parade and for them to do something.
I like
and then
that.
These parents leave early. So it leaves everybody else in
maybe
the park.
make it the fireworks and they're gone, right?
Right.
But either way, if they make it the fireworks, a lot of times there's a child sleeping in a stroller while they're watching fireworks.
Waking up to a firework boom. Good for them.
I lived that. And it's true. These late nights, youngsters just can't make it. I mean, they're falling asleep at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So, so the adrenaline will keep them going for a little while.
Yeah, you get in the park at 4 p.m., so you can go enjoy the day. That transition period between 5 and 7 is a great time if you want to get in early and ride some rides. There's lower wait times. There's little times that you can do stuff like that. But yeah, I'm all for it, man. Give me more Halloween parties. I love the Halloween party. I think Boo to You is probably the best parade at Disney World right now.
I love the Boo to You parade. Look, and this is what I'll go back and forth on, because it's best parade. I'm gonna go Boo to You or the Christmas parade, right? Jerry Mickey's Christmas party.
Yep.
And it comes down to the marching soldiers or the tombstone guys. I mean, that's really the two units that are just phenomenal in my mind. Right?
Yeah, it's between the reindeer and
okay.
And you know what? For Boo to You, I'm such you know me, I'm a character guy. I love seeing Pluto.
The villain. Holly said it earlier. It's it's good to be bad. That is a great parade segment.
It is. So I don't know. Bad. I'm there for
merchandise, dude. There's going to be lots of merch too. You know that.
There's always merchandise.
I mean, you're wearing ears, and I'm wearing a button-down shirt that came from the party. So
right.
There you go.
I actually like the ears that the girl's wearing right there. This is specifically Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween merch. For those who do go to the party, just a quick tip. The Emporium closes when they say the party's over. So you can't wait till the end of the park like you normally can to go shopping. You must do it before the party's over. Yes.
That's a great tip. Now, and it's not just the Emporium, right? They have merchandise in other places.
They should have it in Star Traders. They should have it a few other places. Yeah.
Star Traders is what I was thinking of. That's usually where I would go because it's the same merch. They have the racks that they wheel out right when the party starts.
Yeah. And it's quick and easy. Did you see the other thing before we get too deep in merch?
This is all the merch I had because I was going to go talk about Disneyland and
they accidentally released that Tiana's Bayou Adventure would be open during the party, and then they pulled it down later in the day.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think they accidentally brought up that it will be open by then. So it'll be
open by August the 9th. We expect that all along. We expect to see it open in June.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a big
there you
deal.
go. I thought that was interesting.
All right, let's jump over to Disneyland if that's cool. I don't have any details here, but look, the Oogie Boogie Bash. There is no Halloween party at Disneyland. Their party is at Disney California Adventure. It's called the Oogie Boogie Bash, and this sucker sells out quick. They extended it to more nights. Not on sale just yet, but boy, Greg, if we stayed in Disneyland for a couple of extra weeks, we could get to go to an Oogie Boogie.
Couple extra weeks. Unlike last D23, where when we got out there was the first night of Oogie Boogie Bash.
Right.
just miss it. I wish they were like Disney World where it started on August 9th because I would be there on August
Then we could
9th.
do it. Yeah.
We could
Then
do
we
it,
could do
and
it.
I would do it.
Look,
I
they
would
should have a
absolutely
D23 night. The first Oogie Boogie Bash should be a D23 night.
Yeah, it absolutely should. But yeah, it's starting towards the end of August. More dates, like you said. This is apparently the best Halloween party Disney throws out of all of their parks. I've
It
never
sure looks like
experienced it, but
Sure looks
I really would love to be out there for it. So
Same here. That I have been to Disneyland for Halloween before. Halloween at Cars Land is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Love the overlay that they put in place there. They do a great overlay of their Tower of Terror, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy mission breakout. And I'm forgetting what it's called during the party, but I've not ridden it because the line is way too long. But there's a lot of cool overlays that they're doing out there in Disneyland.
Yeah, they have Kingdom Hearts characters. My kids would lose their minds.
There you go.
They have Sora, Mickey, Donald, Goofy. Yeah. Yeah, that's
All right.
Last time I was out there, I rode Tower Terror Mission Breakout, and it was the overlay and loved it.
It was
absolutely loved it.
Okay. I was not on the overlay. That's great. Oh, was it good? Was it super dark? It's a different storyline, right?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we'll move on.
It was dark. It was a different storyline. I am not a Tower. Yeah, let's move on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just looking and going, wow, we've been going almost an hour already. New costumes for the Halloween on the High Seas, which is back at Disney Cruise Lines. We got a big announcement around that. I like these costumes. I think they look great. Different
this is Halloween. I love Donald there. I don't know the whole. I've never been on a Disney Cruise Line during a holiday. Actually, I've never been on a Disney Cruise Line, so I can't speak of it. But what's the thing with the tree they do?
There is a big Halloween tree that ends up right in the main ballroom there, right when you walk in the foyer. They do a Halloween tree that's decorated, and it's part of a stage show that they have in the area in the evening. They go all out for it. I've never been on any of the themed cruises that they have. I know I'd love to go on the Star Wars cruise sometime. I just never made it. All right. Halloween, awesome. That's great. We're still in May. Let's look forward to this weekend. It is Mother's Day at Disney Parks. Disney Parks blog dropped a Mother's Day foodie guide for both Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Yeah.
There are a ton of things happening Mother's Day at Walt Disney World.
There's a lot going on. I am hoping to get the mother of my children over there that day because, again, rare characters pop up. You never know what they're going to do. I know in Disneyland, they used to give out carnations to mothers.
So that happened to my wife one year. We happened to be at Walt Disney World for Mother's Day, and she was given a carnation as we entered the park. We were early arrivers. It wasn't later in the day. It was in the morning.
Yeah, you got to be there early.
Yeah,
9 a.m.
No, it was a nice touch. It was a nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the stuff is really cool. Like, they try and make mothers feel special. There's different treats. There's different dinners you can have. The brunches around Mother's Day around here.
Brunches are beautiful.
Fabulous. We're hoping to get over to the new Pinstripes, maybe. And to be quite honest, Sam, I'm trying to wait for my kids to tell me what they would like to do for mom on Mother's Day.
There you go.
So
I completely understand that. All right. I wanted to bring
it up. I will probably end up making the plans, but at least they tried.
Well, I will ask you next week what we did. What you did, and
you know what? I'm probably going to end up taking her to the park and seeing
and that's fine. That's fine. And you get this Mother's Day Mickey cookie. I would not have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. There. I don't know if Holly would have a problem with that, but that's awesome.
She'd be like, really? That was free. I was like,
not that cookie. On. That cookie in that picture is not free. Let's be honest here.
Look, I'm actually making reservations right now.
You got down to Emirates. I'm sure the ganachery's got some chocolates that would be pretty darn good. You know what I'm saying?
The ganachery with they would probably be great. Holly is not a big sugar eater, so I can't drown our sorrows in sugar
But
and make her
chocolate
feel
is
better.
okay? Chocolate's
Chocolate's
okay?
fine, like, if it's good chocolate, like, we
Well,
go to the
yeah.
ganachery, and it has to be good chocolate.
I don't blame. I get it. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. All
So,
right, let's move on to Disneyland and an announcement that happened yesterday. And this has to
yeah,
do with
this
the
is massive.
Disneyland Forward project, which was approved by the Anaheim City Council unanimously. Now, this is the Disneyland Forever, DisneylandForever.com, by the way. If you head to that website, it has potential possibilities for what Disneyland could do to expand their parks, which
Yep,
includes taking over nearby locations, building parking garages so that they have more land for attractions,
yep,
the potential of Pandora type of an engagement. This
yep.
was all a part of a plan, and it was really, it's politics at the end of the day, getting the Anaheim City Council to approve this and these plans that Disney had. Well, they did. So now we're going to find out, hopefully, as early as the Ultimate Fan event, if they have some solid plans that they're
Oh,
going to
I
bring to.
think they have solid plans. They've talked about Tangled, they've talked about Frozen, they've talked about bringing Tron over there.
Yeah,
The what's that? The, Avengers Campus,
Avengers
the new
Campus.
Thanos ride is gonna be part of that. What they're
Yeah,
taking
that
over
there's
the
already room for, but this is like
right.
expanding.
This took 5 years for approval.
Yes, yes.
And then once things started moving fast about 6 months ago, it got approved by a 5-3 vote, and then to move forward to be full vote, and then when they did full vote, it's so they're gonna invest $1.9 billion
It's a
into
lot
the
of money.
local economy, into Disneyland, and it means, obviously, they're gonna be paying more taxes to the city of Anaheim. They're gonna take over across from the convention center. There's that giant Toy Story parking lot. That
Yep.
could become something. They're
If
gonna
they build a
add
parking garage someplace else, exactly.
the parking garage that they actually wanna build is across the street from the main entrance,
Yep.
behind those 2 hotels, so they wanna actually build up multiple levels. They could put in new hotels. So much is go I'm excited for this because Disneyland hasn't really expanded in many, many years.
Since Cars Land, let's
Yeah.
be honest, and that was a backstage area that they took over. It really wasn't an expansion. But this to me goes back to the announcement they made some years ago for the new hotel that was going to be at the end of downtown Disney when
Yeah.
they closed the Rainforest Cafe and the ESPN Club and some other things. And then it got canceled and taken off the table because of some city council things that they couldn't get approved. So Disney
Right.
went back to the drawing board, came up with this proposal, came up with these ideas. Now they have the approval to start to move forward, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
One of these,
this
Greg, is
goes
that
into effect, June 7th is the official effect date of it. So starting June 7th, they can actually start construction if they wanted to.
I'd love to see the plans, and I think we will.
Yeah, I
Very
think
quickly,
this just answered what we're gonna see at D23, Disneyland Forward.
Disneyland Forward and Dino Land Forward. Those are the two things that we anticipate seeing. And I'd also like to see
Yeah.
Launch Bay Forward.
We'll have an episode about that coming up. We'll save that.
Launch Bay Forward. Hey,
Yeah.
tell me about this Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime Marvel comic with variant covers, because you broke this news 5 months ago.
I love this. By the way, the first comic books I've ever collected was Uncle Scrooge comic books. It was that, and what came out the same time was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or had 1 through 10 when they came out, but I was collecting Uncle Scrooge cartoons, comic
That's awesome.
books.
That's awesome.
So they did this, and they had it's from Marvel Comics. Marvel put out it's one comic right now, but it has variant covers, and
Right.
there's different levels and different rarities to these covers, and they're brilliant, and they all kind of give this Disney Marvel kind of spin to Uncle Scrooge. It's just this
Uncle
is what we
Scrooge
love
and the
about.
Infinity Dime. So
Well,
cool.
it is, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's Scrooge on Marvel.
It's
You can't
Scrooge
go
on
wrong.
marble holding a
Yeah.
dime that looks like an infinity stone that is
I was
like
going through,
books.
and this is funny. I was going through some stuff and remember Marvel doing some comics. Do you remember they used to do Disney Park comics
Yes.
back in the 2010s? And they
Yes.
put out a few different ones about the various parks and attractions. And yeah, I think this is just furthering Marvel. I think Marvel comics need to go more in depth into Disney characters. You
I think
have
it's
a
awesome.
slate of some major characters you can bring back to the comic realm.
It's the opposite of the Disney diving into the Marvel characters like Guardians of the
Right.
Galaxy and pulling them into the parks. It's the opposite of that. Which, by the way, we didn't mention, but Disney earnings were yesterday, not what they
Oh, yeah.
wanted them to be. But they did mention that some Marvel, they were going to slow down some Marvel production, is what Iger said.
Smart. Very smart. I have superhero burnout right now. They're dropping down
I
to
don't get
2.
Star Wars burnout, dude.
Oh, no, they could. We didn't have Star Wars for a long time. Like,
I agree.
I'm good.
I agree. Well, but they were doing what, 4 Disney Plus series and 3 movies a year, Marvel
3 to 4.
and
Yep.
yeah, they're going to cut back, right?
Yeah, they're going to cut back to 2 shows on Disney Plus per year. But that doesn't include shorts like What If. So it's 2 major production shows per year and 2 movies with a possibility of 3rd during Avenger years.
Very cool.
Yeah, and they're all in on. Disney also said, and this is the other thing I wanted to mention. They are all in right now on sequels. They mentioned that the fan base had told them they were all wanted original content. They tried to put out the original content. The fan reaction was not there. So they're right now fan demand is for sequels. So they're going to stick with some sequels for a little bit, especially this year, Inside Out 2, Moana 2. And then the following year, they're going to go back and try and bring out some like 1 original content per year.
Go and get a good story. It all starts with a good story. That's what Walt did. Look, Walt, it's kind of funny because every once in a while I see people now talk about, Steamboat Willie's in the public domain, right? Mickey, the character. And there's stories in the public domain. Look, every story that Walt did, Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, were all based on books that were in the public domain. That's how they started. They just created characters around these stories that already existed. Go and find that story, Disney. That's what you need to do. That's what Frozen was.
Have you watched on the History Channel the history of Disney and how it changed America?
I've seen multiple. I don't know the title of it. I've seen many, many, many documentaries. If I
haven't,
no.
This is a brand new show that just started 2 weeks ago. I do believe it's Sunday nights at 10 p.m. They're on. This week will be the 3rd episode. But yeah, they talk about how Disney created Disney and Iwerks created Mickey Mouse. This week was about Snow White and taking over animation. Next week, who knows what's going to be? It could be Disneyland. It could be something else. But it's about an hour episode, and it's Disney, how Disney created America.
Speaking of our episode, Greg, we're over again. How the heck did we do it?
Because we always have, and you always worry every week, are we going to have news to talk about? Yes, we have.
I knew this week we did. I knew we did because there was so much happening.
I love those ducks at Disney. There's nothing wrong with
those. Are Disney ducks. Greg took a picture of some wonderful Disney ducks, but they're a great segue to be here next week.
Do you know how many duck pictures I have?
We could do. You should do a YouTube video. Top 5.
You know what? Top 5 Disney ducks that we like at Disney, or birds. Top 5 birds that I take one bird a day. Sam, thank you so much. As always, this has been such a fun. You can get Sam on here if you're not watching on his YouTube, samsdisneydiary.com, Sam's Disney Diary on YouTube, Sam's Disney Daily on Instagram. You can get me at Fantasyland News.com or on YouTube at Fantasyland. I'm putting up new videos daily. And then Instagram, Fantasyland News. Other than that, Sam, thank you so much. I'm going to say end of line.
End of line. Congaloosh, thanks for joining us. See you next week on This Week of Walt Disney World Live with Greg and Sam.
Oh.